How's it going, guys and girls? Hope you guys are in a great week. So I'm back today with a new video. Today, guys, we're going to talk about Stellar Blade. You guys might have seen it's been a lot in the news recently. There's been a lot of previews for the game. The developers Shift Up, which is a Korean studio, just released a playable demo on the PlayStation 5, and a lot of news outlets have been getting sort of hands-on and covering the game. And you know what? There's been a lot of discourse surrounding Stellar Blade. So I kind of want to weigh in on that discourse and give my opinions on it. And also, I want to talk about the game. I want to talk about the demo and my impressions of the demo, why the demo has actually made me more interested in picking up the game, which is set to release on the 26th of April. And I kind of just want to weigh in because I feel really bad for the developers Shift Up, and I'm kind of pissed off at some of the coverage of this game, which is showcasing or highlighting things that just really are just silly and shouldn't even be an issue. And you know, the focus should be on the gameplay, and that's what I want to talk about today. And that's what this video is. You know, it's to sort of say Stellar Blade deserves better. That is basically, you know, the title of this video, and let's just dive in and talk about it. So there was a IGN France specifically, there was an article that talked about Stellar Blade, and to be fair, it was a pretty shocking article, and the writer in it basically was throwing jibes or attacks, should we say, at the developer Shift Up, and sort of accusing them of, you know, making the main character Eve and a lot of the other characters within the game overly sexualized, you know, and sort of saying that, you know, these guys would have never seen a real woman, that it's, you know, completely sexist and just awful, and just really focusing on just that part of it. Now, yes, of course, the look of Eve, yes, okay, she's a very different, you know, particular style. She wears quite scantily, you know, she's quite scantily clothed. Yeah, fine. But this isn't the first time that we've had, you know, these sorts of characterizations and characters. There are plenty of incredibly attractive female character models within gaming, within TV, within movies. This is nothing new, and I just think it's raised a discussion that is, I'm just kind of tired. I'm tired of it, really, to be fair. I remember we had this a while ago when Horizon Forbidden West came out, and everybody lost their shit because they thought that Aloy was made to be purposefully ugly, even though I completely disagree with that characterization and think that Aloy is beautiful in her own way. And they did the same with Mary Jane in the new Spider-Man. Everybody lost their shit about that, and it's kind of polarized again, this kind of like, you know, social media, internet, you know, ideology, discussion and debate, and you've got people either completely hating on Stellar Blade and you know, causing it, you know, saying it's a projecting sort of the beautification of you know, women, of characters that are unrealistic within the game, and then you've got people basically just championing the game and really just focusing on nothing but Eve's looks and her appearance and celebrating that, of course, but you know, almost making out that that's the only thing the game has going for it, which it completely doesn't. There are so many other parts of this game that are worth talking about, and I'm a little tired of those elements of the game and all of the hard work that the developers have put into this game being overshadowed by something that really shouldn't bloody matter. You like what you like, right? And I think it was very stupid for this, you know, French IGN writer to put Western beauty standards on what is effectively an Asian Korean made game. Now, the, you know, culture and the sort of views on beauty and that is very different in Japan, in Korea, in the East compared to the West. So that is the first thing that we should certainly take into consideration when you do look at a lot of Japanese games. Yes, the women in there are are beautiful. You know, they are drawn and animated in such a way that often they would be considered in Western standards quite provocative. Look at some of the most sort of popular female characters, right, that come out of Japan. Of course, most recently in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Tifa Lockhart, right? Tifa is one of my favorite characters. She's amazing. She's awesome. She's badass. She's a kick-ass. Yes, she's good looking. Of course she is. And she's drawn and animated in such a way, most definitely. But that isn't everything that she is. And I would say that's the same thing with Eve. Yes, okay, she's animated in such a way that it would be considered provocative, a little bit like, say, Bayonetta. But that isn't everything that she is. You know, her looks are not everything that she is. And the gameplay and the world is really interesting. And that's what I want to kind of focus in today's video, because if you are on the fence on this game, and if you are considering not giving this game a chance simply because of the style or look of the main character, and you don't particularly like a lot of the discourse going around the game, please ignore that discourse. Please ignore social media, because it's absolutely ridiculous, and give this game a chance. Go and pick it up. Go and install. If you have a PlayStation 5 and you are at least semi-interested in this game, then please install it. Have a go at the demo and make up your own mind on the game. Ignore what everybody else is saying, because this game really surprised me. It really, really surprised me. Let's start off by talking a little bit about the demo itself. So the demo is about an hour and a half, roughly, and you really do get to play a lot of it. It starts out with Eve kind of sort of crash landing onto what appears to be Earth, and we learn a little bit about the lore and a little bit about the setting, which for me sounds really awesome. So the Earth has basically been taken over by a monstrous species called the Natibas, and all of humankind pretty much has evacuated to the colonies in space, leaving Earth a desolate wasteland. Humanity, of course, decides to take back what is theirs, and the humans decide to wage war against the Natibas. And Eve basically is part of the airborne squad, which are trying to sort of crash land, I should say, on Earth. Now, the opening sequence of this demo is just amazing. It's such a spectacle. There are explosions happening everywhere. It's just insane. It's crazy. It's quite gritty as well. Like this demo, it does not pull any punches. Like, people die. It's quite horrific. The enemy designs are like nothing that I've seen. They're almost like Lovecraftian in their style and in their design. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of digging it. Like, I was kind of interested and sort of horrified in the enemy designs. But you and one other, the commanding officer of the 7th Airborne Squad, which is a squad that you're part of, survive the entry into Earth. And the two of you are basically land on this beach, and you're trying to sort of reunite with your squad mates, and it doesn't go very well. And your commanding officer Taki basically ends up sort of saving your life at the expense of her own, and it just throws you in, and it's quite brutal the way in which it happens, but it's just such a spectacle. This is such a visually amazing looking game. It really is. Now, yeah, when I first saw the trailers, I was kind of like, I'm not sure about the facial animations and the character. It's more the faces that were throwing me off a little bit. But having played the demo, I did get used to it, and it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. I almost considered, I did play it in English, and the English voice acting was okay, I guess. I preferred Eve's portrayal, and I thought the sort of side characters' voice acting for the English wasn't really of the same standard. But I'm almost curious to play this game in Korean, and I think maybe you might get something extra playing it in Korean, because obviously the model themselves, Eve herself is actually modeled after a real person, after a Korean model, which is hilarious, because the article said that this person clearly had never seen a woman, but they used actual mocap to model this person, which is just really funny if you ask me. So yeah, the beginning bit is just really cool, and it really sets it up really, really well. And then you get to explore a little bit more of kind of like the derelict Earth, and you really start to get to grips with the combat. And it was the combat that really kind of captured me. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I actually did. I would say Stellar Blade is like a Soulsborne light game. It definitely has Soulsborne elements to it, absolutely. There is a parry system, very similar to Sekiro, and the visual style and the movement of the character reminds me heavily of Nier Automata, which is an amazing game. So yeah, it's definitely taken inspirations from those games, but I would say the combat is a little bit more forgiving than Soulsborne games. This is not like your Dark Souls punishing levels of combat like Sekiro was. It's definitely more forgiving than that, but it is very much about timing. You know, you can get a perfect parry. You also have like a perfect dodge move. You can unlock like special extra moves, like a blink move, which allows you to kind of blink and then sort of appear behind the enemy. If you get a perfect dodge or a perfect parry, that also builds up like this energy bar, and that gives you access to certain beta skills, which you can then use to do extra damage. Enemies also have what appears to be like a stamina bar or a stagger bar, very similar to Sekiro. So if you whittle that down completely, you can then do like a special attack if you get up close to them and press triangle, and you can do really like punishing damage. It was when I actually got into some of the boss fights of this game that I was like, oh yes, I can absolutely see where this combat is going. And it's not as fine-tuned as Sekiro, definitely not, but I enjoyed what I played. I really enjoyed what I played with the combat, and I really dig the concept. I really like the idea of it. I really like the enemy designs. I love the idea of like an Earth that's been invaded and you returning to that planet, which is now derelict. And apparently there are some survivors still on Earth. So I'm kind of interested to find out more about them. And yeah, it's just really cool. It's a really, really cool concept. And the combat and gameplay was a lot of fun. And I actually came away more interested in the game having played the demo. Now there are obviously campsites, which is where it is similar to Souls-like games in that you can get to these campsites, and you can obviously replenish your like healing vials. You can also buy stuff from a store, or you can craft and upgrade like your weapon and your like body suit and things like that. There is a skill tree, so you can spend skill points to unlock certain abilities. There's like collectible things that you can get. I'm assuming that's for crafting. There obviously we don't get to see a lot of that, just a little bit of it in the demo, sort of a taste of it. So I'm curious to see how far that goes. But so far, like what I have played in Stellar Blade, I have really enjoyed. And yeah, like if you're interested or you're on the fence, give it a go. Like definitely, please pick up that demo, play it. Let me know what you guys think of it. Let me know what you guys think of the discourse that's going around at the moment. I'm personally really tired of this discourse that we keep having about the look or style of characters, that are like either too pretty or too ugly. It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's the height of stupidity. I can't think of a more silly thing to be arguing about and discussing. As far as I'm concerned, video games are an entertainment medium. They are meant to be, fun. They're meant to be enjoyable. They are an escape. And so I can understand, people wanting to play characters that maybe they themselves don't look anything like, but they want to like play these like really badass, cool looking, like visually distinct characters, right? Like I can completely understand that. And I think, whatever style of games that you're into, whether you're into your Japanese art or your anime or your Japanese style games, whether you're not, that's fine. But we shouldn't ridicule people that like maybe like this style of game and are absolutely okay with the style and look of this character. I don't have a problem to be fair, with how Eve looks. As a woman, I have no problem, with the fact that she's wearing she's incredibly scantily clad. I don't have an issue with it, to be fair. I didn't have an issue with Bayonetta. I actually found Bayonetta really funny. I really enjoyed watching Dante play Bayonetta because it relished what it was, and it didn't try to be anything more than what it was, which is just fun, entertaining, full of character, full of sass, just owning it, and I have no issue with that. I think that's absolutely fine. And yeah, Eve is pretty badass. She's pretty cool, and she kicks a lot of butt, and she's really satisfying to play as. And you know what? I'm all for that. And I don't think it's fair to judge a Korean studio that has very different sort of beauty standards and culture to us, to the West. It's very different. You can't judge it on the same standards. I don't think that's fair. And I don't think it really freaking matters. The most important thing that we should be talking about with any game is the gameplay good? Is it fun? Are we enjoying it? Is it a good time? Is the story interesting? Is the setting really cool? That's all that really matters. And so anything else is inconsequential to me. And certainly Stellar Blade was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the demo. I highly recommend it. And you know what? I think I'm probably going to pick it up at the end of April. I have a week off in the first week the last week in April, first week in May. I might pick up Stellar Blade, play it, and give it a shot. I might even review it for the channel if a lot of you are interested in hearing my thoughts on it, or might even stream it if I feel up to it that week, if you guys would be interested in watching me play it and getting a little bit of a feel for the game. But let me know what you guys think of Stellar Blade in the comment section below. Is this a game you're interested in? Are you going to check out the demo? Have you already checked out the demo? Did you enjoy it? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comment section below. This really was just a random tangent of thought. I've not written any notes or anything. I just wanted to get this out there and share my thoughts on it, and weigh in on my thoughts on the stupidity of the discourse going on social media at the moment, which is social media, so we're going to get that. That's just how it is at the moment. Polarizing views. We can never find a middle ground, which it's just really tiring. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great week. Of course, everybody take care. And as always, happy gaming. I should go.